Gather round, friends, it's time again for tales of treasure and gold galore. Exciting adventures are just a spark away, so settle in, let's brighten the day. Story time with Flash. Legends and tales that will take you back from rivers that shimmer to the hills so bold. We'll dig up dreams and stories untold. Miners and mavericks on the adventurous trail have a tale to unveil through dust and dirt. With a flick of the wrist and a pan in the stream, history sparkles in every gleam. Story time with Flash. Legends and tales that will take you back from rivers that shimmer to the hills so bold. We'll dig up dreams and stories untold. So grab your seat and let the stories flow. The past comes alive in that warm firelight's glow. Mysteries deep and treasures found. With Flash at the helm, we'll go round and round. Listen closely and don't drift away. You never know what delightful tales Flash will say. It's story time, let's embark once again on gold and the stories that
Story time, rock! Well now, gather round, y'all. It's story time with Flash. Well, a fire's burning, the moon shines bright. Flash is here for a tale tonight. Legends, lore, and a miner's dream. Gold rush stories and crazy schemes.
It's story time, oh yeah!
Woo! Flash is bringing the tales to share. Ghosts, gold, and a little good luck. So grab your pan and don't get stuck. From the riverbed dirt to the mountain high, chasing that gleam with a gleam in your eye. Some struck rich, some lost it all, but every prospector had a ball.
Digging up gold or spinning a yarn,
we're rocking these stories all night long.
It's story time, oh yeah!
Come on now, Flash is bringing the tales to share. Digging up gold or spinning a yarn, we're rocking these stories all night long. Who's ready for a story? We are! Who wants some gold? Let's go!
Oh yeah!
It's story time, let's roll. Legends hotter than a mining hole. Flash is here, so gather round. It's story time live, let's shake this town. That's right, folks. Story time live with Flash.
Hey, YouTubers and friends. Welcome to the third episode of this experimental series, Story Time with Flash. It's great seeing you, Mega Dog Andrew, my friend from the land down under. Everyone, give Cancerman AUS some big Flash fam love. Andrew's, I'm gonna say it, he's a friend. He's a good friend, I would like to think, from the land down under. His old channel was Adventure Gold. He's been on my Tuesday night Hangout Live a couple times. Always a great guest. He's been MIA from the YouTube world for a little while, and I was just telling him in the chat room, it's great seeing him, missed him, been thinking about him lately and his battle. Know this, Andrew, you and your other half are always in my thoughts and prayers, along with the late, great Darcy Cooper, who lost his battle with the evils of cancer at the ripe young age of 55, leaving behind a daughter and a son that some of us, watch grow up through Darcy's content. If you want to treat yourself to some prospecting, mining, and beautiful scenery set in a documentary style, check out Darcy Cooper. My opinion, he should be as big as Dan Hurd. Absolutely fabulous work. And YouTube and the prospecting community, small scale mining community in whole, has lost a modern legend, and he'll be remembered for years to come. Miners rule. Good to see you, Annie, Brad, Nightbot. Keep up the good work. I'm glad you're here too, Andrew. Justin Wrench, Gary Simpson, how are you? Coming to us from who knows wherever he is, California, I believe, right now. But Gary Simpson, cast member on Bering Sea Gold, one of the crew on Vern's Wild Ranger. He also has been a guest a couple of times. Good to see you, Gary. Good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you. Tonight, let me see, the first story time with Flash, I was kind of nervous, and Judy, my producer Judy, was talking to me about it earlier, and I'm like, well, that had to have been the first show, because I was nervous and I was reading from this monitor instead of this monitor, and yeah, I was kind of nervous. Like I said in the first episode, I'm going out of my comfort zone with these once a month episodes. I have to give credit where credit due, and YouTube Live has helped me tremendously with my public speaking and stuff like that. So I like books and rocks too. I wish I could. Uh, after my last show for the season on Tuesday Night Hangout Live in June, I've been the last couple of years I've been taking summer off. Just kind of a mental break. Before that, 5 years straight, I only missed 3 shows in 5 years, and that's when my mom passed away, and I had to go to Washington Washington State for a day, and then I was in California, and driving back for 2 weeks, I was gone, and in that time, I missed 3 shows, and because before that, it was Die Hard, the show must go on. But I decided to take the summer off. And next summer, you'll be seeing a new live studio. I'm going to totally gut this area. Start off with painting and laying down a new floor, and then I'm going to rearrange my studio completely. I might still have the green screen, but I'm going to make it so I could have a decent looking area without the green screen. So hopefully that's right. And even though how much I love doing Tuesday Night Hangout Live and live broadcasts here on YouTube, you do need some self time, together time with friends on the river and whatnot. David Alfonsotti Art, good to see you. Good to see you. As soon as I get done with this contract, I'm heading up that way. Can't wait to jump on those waters up that way. 100%. Where you going, Miners Rule? Must be talking to someone in the chat. Everyone in here, I'm sure, likes getting in the water. The first of the series, I believe the stories were set around the mother lode and the migration out west and stuff, and lessons learned on those. The second one was focused all around the Fraser River Gold Rush with Yale and up the Fraser River and their hardships. Oh, you're coming to Ohio? Are you going to be at the Spriggs lease over Memorial Day, Miners Rule? Because if you are, I'll see you there. Not me at all yet, Andrew. Not me at all yet. I'm in the transition of being promoted from a foreman to a superintendent. So I've been busy all winter. Busy, and I was just running 2 jobs, and I finished one today, and I'm starting another one real soon. Busy. Excellent, Miners Rule. It'd be great meeting you. But tonight's stories revolve around the Sierra Nevada and the Pikes Peak Gold Rush and the Boise Basin Gold Rush. So please forgive me. This is a work in progress on these story times. I don't I I'm not sure if my friend Can Do is going live tonight. I text him and asked and no reply. I want to redirect people over to Freedom Friday's live stream, but I don't know who's hosting. I don't know if Can Do is or Roseville's Treasure or JP Alonzo. I don't know. Jeffrey, Rocky Mountain Prospectors, Brad, how are you doing? Good seeing all of you. All right. I like keeping this around an hour. So let's get into it. Um, Season 1, Episode 3, Story Time with Flash. Gold or Bust, the Pikes Peak Rush. In the spring of 1859, a dusty wagon train rumbled westward along the Great Plains, bound for the rumored riches of the Rocky Mountains. Among the hopefuls was Daniel Mercer, a young blacksmith from Missouri who had sold everything he owned to chase the promise of gold. In the Colorado Territory, like thousands of others, he had ruled Pikes Peak, wrote on his wagon, Pikes Peak or bust, in bold letters on the canvas of his wagon. A declaration of his determination or desperation. Daniel had heard the stories, men plucking gold from the riverbanks, striking it rich overnight. California had been too far, too late for Pikes Peak. That was still within reach. If he could get there before the best claims were gone, his fortune would be made. The journey was grueling. Weeks of wandering through the endless grasslands left his oxen worn, his supplies dwindling. The wagon train was plagued by storms, broken wheels, and the ever-present fear of attack. Some turned back before reaching the mountain, their faith in gold shattered by hardships. But Daniel pressed on. The sight of Pikes Peak's snowy summit pushing him forward like a beacon. By midsummer, he reached Cherry Creek, a muddy stream winding through the crude settlement that would later be called Denver City. The town was nothing more than 10 hastily built wooden shacks, but it pulsed with energy. Miners, traders, gamblers, and opportunists alike of every kind crawled the streets. Gold dust exchanged hand over whiskey barrels, and every conversation mumbled the talk of new strikes. Oh, what on Motel Creek? Yeah, nuggets as big as your head. Just messing around. Daniel wasted no time with his last few dollars. He bought a pickaxe and a pan and headed into the foothills along Clear Creek, where some of the richest diggings had been found. He worked tirelessly, panning gravel by day, sleeping under the stars by night. But gold was elusive. For every man who struck it rich, 100 others found nothing but back-breaking labor and empty pockets. After weeks of struggling, Daniel's luck changed. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the jagged peaks, he spotted a gleam in his pan. Coarse yellow flakes settled at the bottom. His hands trembled as he washed more gravels, revealing more gold. Don't we all love that flash in our pan? I wink, wink, pun intended. Oh. By dawn, he had collected nearly an ounce more than he had ever earned in a month of work as a blacksmith. Eager to stake a claim, he rushed back to Denver, only to find himself in a battle of wills. A group of rough-looking prospectors, led by a man called Rollins, had already laid claim to the very stretch of creek where Daniel had found his gold. "This is our spot," Rollins called, gripping the handle of his bowie knife. "You want to dig? You find your own creek. This is mine," he said. Daniel clenched his fist, anger burning inside him. He had been killed for less. This was the law of the gold fields. First come, first serve. Outnumbered, outgunned, he backed down, but wasn't about to give up. Instead of fighting, he took a different approach. With his blacksmithing skills, he set up a forge in Denver, repairing tools, shoeing horses, and making gold pans for miners too busy digging to fix their own. Business boomed. Daniel was soon earning more in a week than most prospectors did in a month. When winter came and the gold fields emptied, he bought a claim from a desperate miner looking to head back east. By next spring, Daniel finally had what he came for: a thriving forge, a profitable claim, and a fortune future. Yeah, built not on luck, but on hard work. He had arrived in Colorado chasing gold, but in the end, it wasn't just the gold that made him rich. It was the land, the people, and the chance to carve out something lasting in the shadows of Pikes. Hope you all like that little story. Gold or bust, the Pikes Peak Gold Rush. Pardon me. Peter Pansky. Ha, ha. Prairie, how you doing? Good seeing y'all. Yeah, buddy. Next on the list is a little tidbit about the Boise Basin Gold Rush. Fortune and Fire. Well, good luck to whoever. I'm about to give away 5 Flashing Your Pan memberships. David Nelson, Nick True, Bill, David Alphonsati Art, Partridge Family Prospecting, and Autism Magnification Mary. Congratulations. With those, members get first chance of watching all my shorts and other stuff. I have monthly members only live streaming. Try and come up with something that won't kill my wallet for members also. There you go. Set the rabbit trap, get some Easter eggs. Chocolate bunny. All right, to the next story. Fortune and Fire at the Boise Basin Gold Rush. In the summer of 1862, the rugged hills of Idaho Territory whispered a promise. Oh! Because that's part of the yell, not a whisper. It was said that the streams of the Boise Basin ran rich with precious metals, and men from across the country flooded into the untamed wilderness, eager to stake their claim. Among them was Eli Carter, a former logger from Oregon who had grown tired of chopping trees for another man's profit. He had heard the stories of strikes along Pine Creek where prospectors were pulling ounces of gold from the gravels each day. With the battered axe and a worn out mule and more determination than experience, Eli set off into the basement, chasing a dream that had already lured thousands before him. The journey was treacherous. The few trails that led into the mountains were steep and lined with dangers, deep ravines, rushing rivers, and outlaws lurking in the timbers. Whoops, I knocked over my mic. But as Eli crested the ridge overlooking Idaho City, he knew he had reached the heart of the rush. What had been an untouched valley months ago was now a booming mining camp. A wild swirl of tents, log cabins, hastily built saloons, smoke from blacksmiths' forges curled into the sky, and the air buzzed with the sound of picks striking a rock. Eli wasted no time. He followed Grimes Creek upstream, where clusters of men worked feverishly at the water's edge, sifting through gravels. He found an unclaimed stretch of the bank, drove a stake into the earth, his heart pounding. This was his chance to make a fortune. For weeks he toiled from dawn to dusk, his hands raw and his back aching. The work was brutal. The cold nights giving. But gold was there, tiny flakes at first, and heavier nuggets that made his breath catch in his throat. But each day, his poke of gold dust grew heavier, and the dream of leaving the basin a wealthy man seemed within reach. But gold had a way of stirring up trouble. One evening, as Eli returned to his claim, he found a stranger crouched by his sluice box, a pan of freshly sifted gravels in his hand. "This your spot?" the man asked, his voice rough as the hills around him. "It is," Eli said, gripping his pickaxe tightly. The stranger, a weary man with sharp eyes, grinned. "Looks like a good one, maybe too good for just one man." Eli knew what that meant. In the lawless mining camps, gold-rich claims were often taken by force, and a lone miner like him was an easy target. He had heard of men vanishing overnight, their stakes mysteriously replaced by others, some by someone else. "I've worked hard for this," Eli said, standing his ground. "You want gold? There's plenty of creek left to dig." The man let out a short laugh, then tossed his pan aside. "Ding, ding, ding, ding. Just being neighborly," he said, before disappearing into the tree. Eli barely slept that night, his revolver resting at his side. He knew he had to be cautious. Gold was a magnet for greed. The next morning, he packed up his findings and took them to Idaho City, trading in his dust for hard currency. He bought better tools, a rifle, and supplies to last him through the season. Over the next few months, Eli continued to work his claim, always watching his back. As winter approached, he realized he had done what many others had failed to do. He had found gold, kept it, and lived to tell the tale. By the spring of 1863, the Boise Basin was one of the richest gold fields in the West, drawing even more fortune seekers, but Eli had seen enough. With the earnings, he bought a plot of land near the town and built a small cabin, choosing a steadier life over the endless chase for gold. He had come to the Boise Basin with nothing but a dream. And while gold had changed many men, some for the worse, it has given Eli something even more valuable, a future. Ta-da! The end of that little story right there. Dirt Dog Magnetics, welcome. Glad you liked it, Andrew. Mandy Candy, hello, how are you? Hope all of you are doing absolutely fabulous. The ones just coming in, David Nelson, Mandy, and all the others. I greatly appreciate you being here. The third and last story of tonight, and I wish I knew where I could redirect you all. I don't know who's having Freedom Friday tonight, but this one's called The Long Road to Fortune. This is set in the Sierra Nevada. Back yonder in the day. You all know the time. Just picture it in your mind. The wind howled through the Sierra Nevada, carrying the scent of pine and the whisper of 1,000 hopeful souls. Among them was Daniel Hairgrove, Hargrove, however you pronounce that name, a weary traveler with calloused hands and a heart dreaming with dreams of gold. He had left Missouri 6 months earlier, selling a small farm for a chance to strike it rich in California. Now, with little more than a battered pickaxe, a dented pan, and the clothes on his back, he had finally reached the golden hills of the West. His journey had been grueling. He had trudged through the endless plains, crossed rivers, a lot like the last story, huh? Crossed the raging rivers and climbed towering mountains, all with the promise of gold keeping his legs moving. He had lost companions to the sickness and misfortune, but he pressed on. He had to. There was no turning back now. Wrong. Sorry, a little tongue-tied there. Upon reaching the mining camps near the American River, Samuel found himself amongst a sea of desperate men. Then dotted the landscape, and the sounds of shovels striking earth filled the air. He staked his claim by the river's edge and set to work immediately. His first few days yielded nothing but sore muscles and disappointment. Yet, as the sun dipped below the mountains on his sixth evening, his pan caught the glimmer of something precious, a flake of gold, small but real. His heart pounded. But was it true that fortune could be found in these hills? Days turned into weeks. Samuel endured cold nights and 14 days, surviving on little more than beans, bread, and the occasional rabbit. His hoard of gold grew steadily, but so did the dangers around him. Outlaws lurked in the shadows, preying on the weary miners too tired to defend themselves. Samuel began sleeping with his rifle close at hand, ever wary of those who would take what he had bled for. One evening, a stranger approached his fire. He was older, with silver beard and sharp eyes. "You are working hard, son," the man said, "but gold isn't the only way to get rich out here." What do you mean? What do you mean by that? The man chuckled. "Mining is for the desperate. The real money is supplying them with food, tools, and whiskey. I ran a supply shop down in Hangtown and made more in a month than miners make in a year." And isn't that the truth of it? Gold rush to gold rush to gold rush to gold rush to gold rush. Samuel mauled over the man's words. He has risked. He had risked everything to dig in those hills, but was chasing the wrong kind of fortune. Samuel made a decision by the end of the season. With a small poke of gold, he left his claim behind and traveled to Hangtown. There he invested his earnings into a small storefront, selling supplies to weary miners like himself. Within months, he was making more money than he ever had taken into it. I don't really think that's quite true nowadays. We see some good companies in the mining community with some cool ideas and gadgets, and some reinventing the gold pan and stuff. Come and go. Some stay around, and some have been around a long time. But okay. Years later, as he sat on the porch of his thriving business, he watched the miners trudge into town, tired and broken. He had found his fortune, not in the riverbed, but in the needs of those who chase their own. Samuel Hargrove had come west searching for gold. What he found instead was something more valuable. His I often say the real treasure, the real gold on the river are the friends you meet and the friendships you kindle and build along the riverbanks and throughout your journey. Gold comes and goes, and people, gold will bring out the true nature of a person. So either be one way or the other. The last thing you want is the other, and be all Humphrey Bogart, Sierra Madre type, you know. Um, some of the greatest people I've met with the biggest hearts have been in the mining and small scale mining and prospecting community. But I've met a few dogs along the way too. Stab you in the back, rip you off of gold, rip you off of gear, take advantage of your kindness. It's a shame, but it's part of reality. Don't ever be on the wrong side. And I'm sure you all know what I mean. Keep your heart good, keep your mind good, and always look for the best in people. But you always have to watch out for the Sophie Smiths and the others who are there to take advantage of you and your boat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Andrew. Old gold prospectors made money and the businesses on the gold fields got rich. Yes, sir. Not a lot of clean water in the gold fields, that's for sure. Hillbilly, good to see ya. All right, everybody. That's the end of this month's story time with Flash. I hope to bring you some more good stories. It seems like prospecting stories and gold rush stories, no matter where they are, often ring kind of the same tune: struggle, hardship, fortunes or failures, busted and broken, or betrayed and left for dead, and so forth. It is part of global history, from the British Isles to Spain and Scandinavia to the Middle East and Africa, down to the land down under, Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand, to the islands of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, to the shores of the United States, up into the Caribou, Ontario, Quebec, in the Yukon, and Alaska. Gold has been whispering in the ears of prospectors for millennia, and for millennia, prospectors have been searching for the gold. I appreciate all of you, my friends, for being here. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan. You know what I like to say, because it does happen. maybe one day too. I hope to meet you on the river. Good night, everyone. God bless. Love you all. Have a extra awesome Resurrection Sunday with your family and loved ones. And on that note, I'm out of here.
Well, the fire's getting low and the tale's been told. Another journey through time, through legends of old. From rivers so wild to the mountains high, we've seen golden glory and the stars in the sky. Till next time, keep the story rolling. Let the echoes of the past keep the night wind blowing. Adventure's never over, it just takes a break. We'll be back real soon with more tales to shake.
So rest easy now, let your dreams drift wide, where the rivers run deep and the spirits ride. Flash, I'll be back, just wait and see, with another good tale round the fire with me.